I have with me Mr. Digvijay Singh, AICC General Secretary. Let me begin by asking him, Digvijay ji, there's been an uproar over Mr. Shakil Ahmed's tweet. And in the light of these reactions, is the party considering censoring him or asking him to withdraw what he said?
I don't think so. Whatever he has said is probably been put out of context. Godhra riot is a reality.
It is.
Post Godhra riot, communal riot is a reality. But at the same time, whether there is something called Indian Mujahideen or not, at least I am not aware of. It has been in the media. It has been in the probably the sources which media quotes. Probably they know better than me. The fact remains that ever since Mr. Advani took out the yatra, the body politic of this country has been communalized, and therefore the emergence of the terror activities in India has grown after the 1992 Babri Masjid demolition.
Sir, be that as it may, a lot of people believe that when you cite these examples, this is providing a rationale, providing justification for terrorism.
There is no rationalization, no justification for terrorism. It has to be condemned by all right-thinking people, and therefore there is no question of justification. The events have proved that acts of terror is not being committed only by one community. We've got terror activities in which Hindus have been involved, Muslims have been involved, Sikhs have been involved. In Northeast, there are a number of tribal groups which are involved. So terror activities is not a domain of only one religious group, which unfortunately the BJP is trying to project. So therefore I think one should not see this as a justification for act of terror or a reason for act of terror.
Sir, but you very significantly, a large number of Muslims, liberal Muslims, right-thinking people now feel that such remarks somehow lend credence to those people who believe that terrorism and Muslims go together, and that perhaps people should be well advised not talking about this.
I think it's reading too much in his statement.
No, but a lot of Muslims have reacted this way.
They are fully competent and they've got the reason to say what they are saying. But what I'm trying to say is that Mr. Shakil Ahmed's statement has been read more out of context.
Coming to the political aspect of this, don't you think that this politicizes the atmosphere? And is there a grand strategy on the part of the Congress party, as is being alleged by the opposition, that you want to deflect attention from 9 or 10 years of governance or the lack of it of the UPA, and therefore you want this to be a communal, this election to be based on communalism versus secularism?
Mr. Javed Ansari, please always remember that in a situation where communal politics takes the front seat, Congress party is the biggest loser. Congress party, which believes in communal harmony, is the biggest loser when the body politic of this country polarizes between Hindus and Muslims.
All the more the need to refrain from talking in these terms.
What we are trying to say is that we have fought the religious fundamentalists even before the country became independent and after the country became independent. So therefore, we would never like the communalism to take the front seat as far as the issues are concerned in this country.
But there is a feeling that you have double standards when it comes to communism, that you're very harsh, that your party tends to have a benign view of communism, minority communism, and that you come down very hard where on outfit like the RSS and other affiliates of the Sangh Parivar.
We are against all acts of terrorism. Give one instance where Congress party has supported acts of terror of any kind. In fact, Congress party has lost two of its greatest leaders, Mrs. Indira Gandhi and Mr. Rajiv Gandhi.
Sir, I was talking of communalism.
That's what I'm saying. religious fundamentalism leads to communalism, and religious fundamentalism and extreme communalism leads to acts of terror.
But communalism of both sides, minority communalism as well as majority.
This is what I'm saying. You have probably not understood what I have said. I have said that we have seen acts of terror being committed by Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and even some of the tribal groups in Northeast. So why should you confine your whole arguments on the basis of one statement?
So one last question: will the Congress Party now rethink and not join issue or not create the impression that this is going to be a communal versus secular fight? Are you now going to shift your strategy and take on?
No, you must realize that one of the biggest challenges in this country is to bring communal harmony, and one of the biggest challenge in this country is to fight the right-wing extremism on one side and left-wing extremism on the other side. And Congress is the only middle-of-the-road party which can tackle both these effectively.
Left-wing and right-wing terrorism, but what about terrorism that emanates from minority outfits?
No, you just let me know that are only Muslim organizations involved in terror activities? What about Abhinav Bharat? What about some of the VHP activists?
No, so all. My point is that you should be fighting terrorism whether it emanates from the majority community
this is exactly what
or the minority.
Javed Bhai, this is exactly what I'm saying. We are against all acts of religious fundamentalism which lead to acts of terror, be any class or group or religion.
Thank you very much for speaking, sir. So that was Mr. Digvijay Singh with camera person Kirpal Singh. This is Javed Ansari in New Delhi for Headlines Today.